Ja, ik ga nu even kletsen, goed? Mams? Ik ga nu even kletsen.
Ja, op de kletsen.
Klets maar uit.
Kletsen.
Ja, heel goed. Good afternoon,
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
everybody.
Hello.
Just a second. Good to see all of you. So many enthusiastic people today. How many are we? 18. One more coming in. So if you all mute, that's great. Thank you. What we mostly do is welcome to the webinar. Then I ask you one by one to give a 10-second introduction of yourself and what you do, and then I'll ask you one by one to give us your question. So I'll try to respond as good as possible and see if we can help you. So let's start on top of the list. Albion Aslani. Then we just follow the list into the things. Can you tell me who you are? Just quickly, otherwise it takes too much time.
All right. Yeah, I'm Albion. We're here from the University of Antwerp, and we had some questions. So do we just like ask one question per person, or?
Yeah, we can do that. And then one more and just introduce you. Yeah, go ahead. Ask your question.
All right. Is there, or maybe it's a bit of a difficult start, but is there a certain size or steady state you envision for mid-jeans beyond you would not want to grow? And or are you like of the opinion that the more people you can reach, the better it is?
That's a good question. Very good question. We had it more often. What we say when we started, we said if we can do around 250,000 jeans a year and do the whole recycling, that would be a good scope and a good volume to be sustainable, also to make some money, to be able to invest and to keep going. And if it would be bigger, I would say that we give our blueprint, what we did with our company here, to other people in other continents, so that they can do the similar thing over there. We don't want to go ship jeans back and forth over the oceans, because I don't think that's a good idea. So try to keep it closer. So I can imagine that somebody in North America would like to do that, or in South America, or in Asia, I don't know. So we think 250,000 pieces is a good scale of what we should do now. Today we do around 100,000 jeans this year. So we're closely getting there.
All right, thank you.
Let's go to the next one. It's Amelia Olsen.
Hi, I'm a student in the USA, and my question was, what are some of the biggest barriers to circular supply chains, and why don't more companies follow Mud Jeans' lead?
And what are you studying, Amelia?
Supply chain management.
Okay, good. It is difficult. One of the things that you might think is that when you recycle old material, waste, that it might be cheaper to make new material out of it, which is not true in our case, because to recycle post-consumer waste, we call that, we also have pre-consumer waste, that's the cutting losses from the tables that's easier to recycle. But if you really take old jeans and you start recycling that, shredding it and making new yarn, it's more complicated. It's more expensive. You have more. There can be more mistakes in the cloth, so you have a little bit more waste there again, which is a pity. The shrinkage is more difficult to control. Dyeing is more difficult. We do it well now, and the quality we deliver is good, but it's more difficult. And you really want, as a company, to get back old jeans, to gather them together, to send them to your recycler. To do all this is if you have a good running jeans business and you're going for profit only, then it's wise to not use old material. So it's a challenge, but of course, it's what we are here for. That's what we want to do. So, and that's also what our marketing is based on. We promise our clients to do, so that's what we do. And that the other ones don't do it, it has to do with earning. If your company driven is to make as much as possible money for your shareholders, then you shouldn't do this.
Thank
Let's
you.
go to Anushka. She's the next on my list.
Yes, thank you. So I'm Anushka. I'm studying from sustainability from a marketing perspective.
Okay.
And I'm wondering, how do you think your consumers get triggered to buy sustainable fashion?
We do this now for 9 years, and we started because we felt as a people starting this company that something has to change. The clothing industry is the second largest polluter, and we felt like if we want to do something, we have to do things totally different. So you know, to make jeans of organic cotton and by people that are not slaves and with chemicals that are not toxic, that's already good, but it's even better if you then say we also feel responsible for what we put into the market, extended producer's responsibility. That's now becoming a topic. When we started 9 years ago, this was not really in the mind of consumers. Could you please mute your microphone? Thank you. If you took back 9 years, consumers were not very interested in it. You could see that, for instance, the food market is already ahead of us because you want to eat proper food. It's what you put in your mouth. So that's important. But today, I think more and more interest and also information is available for consumers to know what's happening in the garment industry. And that's maybe, I hope, that's the reason why this is becoming more and more interesting, also for a company like us. We are growing fast today. In these difficult times, you might think it's difficult for us, but actually no. We double our turnover. And I think it's because people are getting more conscious of what they wear and how they consume. Do you have to buy every season new things, or is the 5-pocket jeans that you're wearing still good? And can you have it another half year? All those questions are now coming up, and it's getting more and more interest. When we started, we did some surveys, and we tried to find out who is our customer, what is he choosing in life. So we call them the conscious explorer. So people that are making different decisions. They try to live a more conscious life. They have children. They're mostly well educated. There's not really an age to it because it can be young and old. Everybody who's interested in this. And at that time, it was about 12% of the population. Today, before the pandemic, it is 36% of the population. And I think today, after this, the percentage is even higher. So it's really something that's happening now, I think. I hope that was a long answer to your short question, but I hope that I helped you with that. Let's go to Katerina. Just tell us what you're studying and why you're having questions and why you're here.
Hello. Well, my name is Katerina. I'm studying global business and sustainability at the Erasmus University. And I have 2 short questions, maybe. Well, I will start with the first one, and in the case we're running short in time, I'll ask the second one in the end.
Okay.
So how does being a B Corp contributes to your mission?
Okay, yeah, that's important. When we started, we've never heard of B Corp, but 2 years later, the B Corporation community started to grow and we heard of it and we really thought, yeah, this is what we want, because it's not a certification, but it is an audit, and it's also a way of doing business. So you have to change your statutes of your company. You have to write down what you want to do. Also, in case your company either gets sold or something happens, that this is fixed in the ground of the company. So that's why I think B Corp is important. Sorry, what was your question? What?
Yeah, was how does being a B Corp contribute to your mission? I don't know if you want to add anything else or.
No. So it adds to our mission that we want to prove and share with our consumers and the people that work with us, our code of conduct also. For instance, if we work with a factory, we will send them our code of conduct and only want to work with people that have the same mindset as we have. So that's an important thing. It's also important because we have meetings between B Corps where you have like-minded people discussing things. You can learn a lot from it. We have very good connections with Patagonia, with Tony Chocoloni, with Dopper. All those companies have sometimes very intelligent, like-minded people where you can exchange ideas and learn from each other. So there's a lot of advantages. I can go on and on. The list is long, but we are learning a lot from it also.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And could I ask, like, if Mudgeons ever consider not to recertify?
We have to recertify every 2 years. We just did it, and we had the highest score ever. We are now in the top 5 B Corps in the Benelux. We are very proud of it, together with Triodos Bank, Dopper, I think, and Tony Chocoloni. So we are really like doing a lot, I hope. We're also following their zero net profit, emission formula. So we're now CO2 positive. Yeah, all those things are important for us. I'll go to the next one. Dolly Velanki, sorry.
Yes, hi. I'm also I'm from India, but I am also studying at Erasmus University Global Business and Sustainability.
In Rotterdam.
Yes, exactly.
Good.
Yes, and so my question is about the partners or the parties that were involved in the process of building the cascading networks that you have. And what I mean with the cascading networks is I mean the leasing, the circularity, the recycling, and so on. Who do you think are the most important actors involved? And do you think there's an actor that is currently missing?
Yeah, the actor that's missing is the financial world. This is still very, very complicated to finance because we are growing fast. Financing the whole thing is getting more and more difficult. Although we make a profit, it's still, your liquidity is still in trouble because the gap between buying, delivering to your doorstep and getting paid for it is getting bigger. So that's a problem. Although we are talking to banks now that are also understanding that they have to change and want to look at this business model. Mm-hmm. For 5 years ago, that would not have been possible. Today, at least they think about it and want to be involved. Mainly also because they want to clean their name and tell the whole world that they support circular economy. Okay, let's say that's fine. But what was the other part of your question? Sorry.
Who is the most important actors that are involved in this process of cascading?
The process of leasing jeans?
Yeah, leasing jeans, recycling. So just any of the 10R framework that we're looking at.
It's the whole chain. I mean, every little radar has to do what he has to do. So we have to make sure that we get to the volume. We have to explain to our customers what we're doing, that they understand what we're doing. We have to gather the old jeans. We have to send them to the recycler in Spain. And there also you have very different steps. One is taking off the metal parts. The other one is shredding it. The third one is mixing it with new virgin cotton, making the yarn. The other one is weaving, dyeing. We have now non-toxic indigo. It's huge. And then this roll of material goes to Tunisia, to this factory where you have people cutting the material, making the patterns, making sure the shrinkage is okay, the washing, the sewing. And then you have to have the right transporters because we want to also there try to do things as good as possible. So now we ship from Tunisia to Marseille and hopefully by train, but mostly trucking it to Utrecht. And there when you order online, you will normally be delivered by bike to your doorstep. And there's still a million things we can do better, but every part we try to do as good as possible within our reach.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Katerina, and you're the next one in line, right? We had you, sorry, Dolly. Ellen, sorry, Ellen Feist.
Yes, hi, I'm Ellen and I'm studying textile value chain management in Borås in Sweden.
In Sweden.
And,
Okay.
yes, and my question would be, how do you manage stakeholder and partnership involvement through digitalization? Do you have special programs or cloud systems?
No, we're a small company. We try to be smart and use everything that is available around us for many things like bookkeeping and also logistics. So we lean on our partners that have logistics systems installed. It can be everything. For instance, our logistics center in Utrecht in the center has a very good IT system, which we use for them. So yeah, we don't really have something ourselves that is built or based on some knowledge. We try to work with as many as possible companies that have smart systems available. But that doesn't answer your question completely, I think. Can you tell me again?
I mean, basically, yes, but do you use as well, I mean, aside from social media and your website, do you have anything else, how you influence, for example, customers to participate in the cascading flow?
Yeah, that's one of the big challenges. We try to reach as many as possible people and through, of course, our social media channels, which we do quite smartly with low budgets. We don't have big budgets because, first of all, we're a small company. Secondly, since we try to do everything right in the buying, so making sure that people get paid well, that we use recycled content, that we do it close to home, not in China, Bangladesh, but closer to home. It means that we pay double the price that our colleagues are paying for a pair of jeans on the buying side. On the selling side, we cannot ask you to pay double the price. So we are having a price with 119 euros, which is in the market, I think, which is reasonable for what we do. But the profit margin is much smaller. That means we have less money for traveling, for salaries, for renting an office, but also for marketing. So what we do, we try to be smart. We try to have ambassadors for our brand. There's a whole ambassador program on our site. We ask people to like and share things that we post. We try to work with influencers, micro influencers that are interested in sustainability and in living a good life. So all kind of things to with the small budgets we have, try to be very smart and reach as many people as we can. And sometimes we get help. Sometimes famous people say, okay, we like your brand, we like what we do, we are going to support you and do something for you. We had a photo shoot with a very famous Dutch actress who didn't ask anything for that. So sometimes you are lucky, or sometimes magazines say, okay, we have this month a page free, and you can use it if you come very quickly with some artwork. So we try to be smart and every day, get solutions that are working for that.
Okay, thank you.
Go to Gert-Jan. Luckily, there's also a man on board. Thank you,
Hello.
Gert-Jan, for being there. You're my hero.
Thank you. Hello, so I'm studying international business at the KU Leuven in Belgium. And my question is, I've read that you use some advanced technologies with some suppliers, and I am wondering if you encounter some barriers or difficulties to find these suppliers, and how did you overcome them?
I was very lucky when I started this company. Some very bright people joined, and they're also now shareholders, and they had this whole network already. So the 4 people that founded the company the first 2 years, had a broad knowledge and also network in what we do. So we try to keep things very simple. We have one, or actually four, but we have one place where we recycle the jeans. That's in Valencia, where they shred the jeans and mix it with cotton and do that whole thing. And we have only one state-of-the-art manufacturer who has everything in-house in Tunisia. So also the washing. Very often jeans companies have somewhere where they cut and sew, and somewhere where they wash, and then there's chemicals and you don't know what's happening. But this is all under one roof, a very big company who has the same idea as we have. They want to make noble jeans, they call it themselves. So it wasn't very difficult to convince him to work the way we would like to. And they even help us because they come, when they have new ideas or new chemicals that are better, or new dye stuff, for instance, the indigo. 2 years ago, we changed our indigo into a non-toxic indigo. So all those things are also, during the time that we're doing this, getting better because of our partners. But once again, we try to keep it very simple, and we don't have 10 jeans manufacturers or other things. And sometimes people ask us, for instance, to make sweatshirts or things like that, but we concentrate on the jeans. Recycling jeans is already very, very difficult. And we need all our energy and money to do this. So yeah, like I said, we try to keep it simple. Does that answer your question, Gert-Jan?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, let's go to Gitte Vermeer. Sounds Dutch, Vermeer.
It is Dutch, yeah. I'm studying business management in Ghent, and I'm currently writing a bachelor thesis about the different earning models within the 5 defined circular business models. So your company uniquely falls into 2 business models, product as a service, as well as resource recovery. And my main question is, how do you generate revenue on the part of the business that is circular? And does the revenue from one business model outweigh the other?
Yeah, Ghent, beautiful city. I lived there for 20 years, so.
Oh, wow, it's true. It's very nice, yeah.
So yeah, what we do, we have actually 3 streams of revenues. One is our own website, on which we of course make the best margin, but it's a lot of work, and you have a lot of returns and things, and it's difficult to get your website working and get people to visit your website and those kind of things. The other stream is we sell now to 300 retailers in 30 countries in Europe. And the third is we also do collaborations with other companies. We have people that buy aprons from us for their hotels, or like Veritas in Spain, they made an order for this. And lately, I don't know if you've seen it, we teamed up with IKEA to make the cover for the clip-on.
I
So
haven't
that helps
seen
us
that.
also to reach the volume, to make it more interesting for our material suppliers to make good runs of denim. So those 3 are important for us. Of course, margin-wise, the best is our own web shop, which is about half of our turnover. We have every day around 2,000 visitors and a conversion of around 3%, and that's getting very interesting. And it's growing fast, even of course now with the pandemic, it's even better. And the stores, of course, now it's very difficult. Some countries are still open. France was doing well so far, but now they're also in a lockdown. Switzerland is an excellent country for us. They're really there. The good is the new cool works for them. And yeah, England was a good market, but now we have some trouble with Brexit, because at the beginning of this year, everything got stuck on the frontier and it's still laying there. We have some challenges there, but okay, I think that will come back again. So that's our model for the moment.
Great. Could I ask, on your own web shop, you have the option to rent and to buy. Does most of your revenue come from the people who buy the pants or the people who have a subscription?
It's around 50-50.
50-50, okay.
We're launching now after the pandemic, when this thing is over. We know that retailers have had a very difficult time. They're all looking for solutions. Some of them even went broke. And we now come with a system that you can also do the leasing in the store, so that our system of keeping the stock centralized and having fit centers all over the world where people can do the leasing contracts. I think it will be the solution for the future.
Yeah.
But we will come with that. We've made everything ready. The whole IT is ready. The stock is there. But once the stores are opening up again, we will work with them on this way.
Okay, thank you very much.
Ines van Balen, where are you?
Yes, here I am. Hi, good afternoon. I'm Ines, and I'm studying public management here in Amsterdam. Right now, I'm writing my thesis. I'm doing that for Shelter Suit. It's a company, actually a social enterprise, but they are, sorry?
Yes, I know them, yes.
Yeah. Well, they started as a foundation and now they are more into a transition of a social enterprise.
Yeah.
And that's exactly the issue that they're having right now, because at the one side, they still have donations and donors to sort of justify. And at the other end, they have, of course, companies who want to be commerce with them. And that's actually my question, but I'm not sure if it's like totally similar with you, because I don't know if you have like donators, but how do you sort of justify the way that you are as a commercial company?
I'm the biggest donator so far, first 8 years. No, we are just limited, a BV, and a B Corp. So it's incomparable.
Yeah.
We are here to, to try to make a business model that works. We have two missions. One is to show the denim world that you can do things properly and that you can take back old products and that you can make jeans without using slaves and toxic materials. And that's our mission. And the second one is what I'm doing here is try to explain our mission to young people and to everybody that they hopefully will step into the fashion world with a different mindset. Not only thinking, okay, we have to make as much as possible money as quickly as we can. But of course, we don't say no against making money. That's not a dirty word. It's okay. And we invested in future plans. We now are working on the road to 100. We try to make a pair of jeans from 100% post-consumer waste, which is a challenge, but it's nice to be involved in that whole new project, I think. So I wouldn't be able to compare with Shelter Suit.
No, I already thought it's not like totally comparable with each other. But if I understand it right, you have like a sort of phase like where you give information, but you also are having the conversation about it. Like, this is what we want to do, and to really talk about it to justify, actually.
Yeah, it's even, Tommy, for instance, had a whole gathering with their personnel more than a year ago, and they asked me to come and speak there and tell what we are doing. We also write this LCA every year, this life cycle assessment and this sustainability report, in which we open up everything that we are doing, and hopefully other people are going to follow us. So it's a different mission maybe than what Shelter Suit is doing.
Yeah, but it's interesting. Thank you.
You're welcome. Manon Schalkwijk. Are you there? Hi, Manon.
I'm Manon. I'm also from the Netherlands, and I'm writing my thesis about circular business models, specifically secondhand sale. And my question is, did you ever consider to sell secondhand jeans?
We're doing that, actually.
Demo.
And when we started, actually, it was a big thing. We even had pictures of, we have a lady in Almere in Holland who is repairing our jeans. There's some jeans that come back from the leasing. They are sometimes still very good, and it's a pity to bring them then to the shredder. So we say, no, we call that our vintage collection. We don't want to say secondhand, but it doesn't sound good. So we call that vintage. And we even made it with patches or special burrow stitching, things like that, to make it attractive to sell it secondhand. We stopped because it was too much work. You have to make a picture. There's not always a good assortment. Sometimes there's one style and one size, and then not the other one. So people get very disappointed when they wanted to buy a secondhand print. But now with our small store in Laren, near to our office, we have this secondhand or vintage collection that we sell. Of course, it's the best way of recycling, and
Yeah.
it's also the biggest growing market in textiles at this moment. So, yeah, we're totally fan of that secondhand.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Nassim, there's another gentleman.
Yes.
Nassim, thank
Hi.
you for being there.
No problem.
Not against you girls, but it's just.
So yeah, I'm Nassim, and I study supply chain engineering at the University of Antwerp.
Okay.
And so you already mentioned that you were undergoing rapid growth.
Yes.
And I was wondering how that growth is affecting your ability to achieve your sustainability goals. Does it make it easier? Does it make it more difficult?
It makes it easier. To give you an example, if I send, for instance, now this week we sent 14 pallets of old jeans to our recycler in Spain. You know, if that would have been the double, the whole transport would be cheaper, first of all. Secondly, if I ask my supplier in Spain to make 10,000 meters with this recycling process, it's a small order for him. It's difficult. It's more expensive. When we had this IKEA order, we were able to buy 100,000 yards in one style, in one color, in one quality. That's much better for everybody. It's much easier to make. So we need volume. We need economics of scale to become also a big player and have a better pricing on the buying side. So we need scale. Yeah. Although growth is a dirty word, we need it because we are in this big world of denim where we have to compete with.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Natasha. Your
Hello.
turn. Hello.
So I'm Natasha. I'm studying at the University of Exeter in England.
Okay.
And I'm currently researching the drivers for adopting circular business models, specifically in the fashion industry. And so far in my research, I found that the entrepreneur's experience with nature often has a role to play. So I was wondering, do you consider the geography of your organization to be significant in your decision to be sustainable? By that, I mean the culture and the natural environment that you're surrounded by.
Yeah, we've created sort of our own natural little circle in our office. We have people from Finland, Austria, Germany, Holland. So it's quite an international bunch of people, which I think is interesting. I don't know, to be honest. I have the feeling that the people that want to work for our company contact us. They like the idea that it's circular. Fashion, of course, is very attractive because it's an interesting article. Jeans, everybody can connect with a pair of jeans. It's something that you touch every day, that you know, that you understand, and that the fact that we are B Corp is also attracting people. So we have a lot of young people, like-minded, that want to be part of this movement and are looking for companies like ours to be part of this and try to put their energy in this. And they don't ask for what will be my leasing car, what will be my salary, but they just think, no, this is what I want to do, and we'll see how it goes. And that's, of course, a very interesting, for old men like me, it's a very interesting thing to see happening. And that also gives me energy.
So can I just ask what specifically, when you started the company, made you want it to be circular?
I've been in this dirty business for 40 years now. And when I started, I was your age and or even younger. I moved to China and I saw this whole, because I like this international trade and I was really attracted to see other cultures and I lived there. And at that time, the garment industry was still something beautiful. You know, we made products to protect yourself, to wear, to look good, but not overdone. We didn't have this fast fashion monster pushing you every week to buy something new because, you know, this week you have to wear yellow, and if you don't wear yellow next week, you're completely stupid. So I've seen this whole thing explode into, it had to be cheaper. We had to go to Bangladesh and then to Burma and then, you know, to the end of the world to buy as cheap as possible. There was no consideration about waste or water usage or chemicals. Just nobody thought about it. So I was lucky to sell a company in 2008 about 3 months before the financial crisis. So everybody thought I was a very intelligent person, but that was just pure luck. There was somebody who wanted to buy it, and it was so. And I had this money in front of me, all these years of background in the textile company, in the textile world, and I thought I have to do something different and try to put my experience and the money I had in front of me and my network, and see if I can do things differently. And that's why we started this company, and that's why we're here now. Next
Great.
one in line is Natasha. We had Simon. Where's
Hi,
Simon?
hello. I'm also a student at the University of Antwerp.
I can't see you, Simon.
No, I don't have a camera. I'm sorry.
Okay. What's your
my question is, what would be different for your company if it weren't located in Europe? So, for example, Asia or the US?
I have to think about it. Don't know. In what way do you mean? In what way different?
I mean, like, why did you start it in the Netherlands and not over there where it's maybe cheaper or something like that? And would you still be able to achieve your goals?
I think so. I started because I live in Holland, and
yeah, but you also said you lived in China.
Yeah, but that was a long time ago. So.
Oh, okay.
No, that was in the 80s. Yeah, I don't know if there's a big difference. If you have a mission and a vision, and if you write down what your company wants to do, I think that you can start it anywhere. I mean, not because Holland, no. As long as you stick to your plan and write down what you want to do, go for it.
But would it maybe would have been easier if you started there, or?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome. Then I see Stephanie Everards. Stephanie.
Hello, thank you.
Hello.
I study at the University of Antwerp, and I study product development. I am following a course in product service systems, and I'm specifically looking into the consumer behavior that goes into committing to product service systems. So these are often high threshold services, and for consumers, it's relatively new and often hard to understand or to commit to. And the communication of these product service systems, consumers often don't immediately see the added value or a future of committing in a service like this. How does Mudgenes communicate the service at the moment, and which step do you wish to make in the future to attack doubt and hesitance of consumers?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's very complicated because we are doing something so different. We've been discussing a lot, and we are still discussing today about this, how we communicate, what we want to tell. We are now following the model of where you write down all your key ideas, you know, I forgot the word. Anyhow, you have to write down for yourself, first of all, what your mission is, what you want to do, what your part of.
Do you mean a SWOT analysis?
No, not SWOT.
Okay.
I mean the key. It's called the brand key. Sorry, the brand key. And then you have 8 things that you've heard of it, where you fill in everything, and it's a long trajectory because it's a document that you don't write down in one afternoon. You have to think and rethink. So we did this, and we finalized this only 3 years ago, and it's still a little bit changing, but at least we have now all the fixed words that we want to stick to when we, for instance, do something in advertisement, or when we talk to our suppliers. We now have in our head very clearly what we want, what we do. So for advertisement, we try to use the right words. We talk about transparency a lot, and we talk about educating. We talk about no waste, you know, things like that, circularity. So this is what you have to do, and this is how we try to speak out, and that it is also consistent. That the next thing you will see on our Instagram page, you know, that it's consistent. That our message hasn't changed from what we said 8 years ago. We're still wanting to create a circular fashion brand with everything that it means. So thinking about design and circularity, thinking about getting back old jeans. How can we motivate you to send back your old jeans? What do we have to do for this? All these questions are still the same. And we are getting better and better at it during the time. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, and I have a little bit of a sub question. With these product service systems, you often also have you can have abuse of the systems, that they maybe miscomprehend the service and use it in a wrong way. For example, when you were answering someone else's question of these secondhand jeans that you're selling. So, for example, people then sending in jeans that you can still wear, which is kind of against the circularity model, or the whole financial thing about it. Do you experience a lot of abuse of the service, and how do you kind of work against it?
We first of all asked, when we started, we said we only want our own mud jeans back because they are from organic cotton, and we designed them in a way that it's very easy to recycle. Then we said, this is too small, we have to make this bigger. So now we also accept jeans from other brands, as long as they have 95% cotton in it. So we cannot use jeans that have 20% elastan, things that's impossible to recycle. So we do watch what we are getting, and but we wanted to be open and to make it larger, to also accept other brands. But there's no abuse. No, the consumers we have and the people that we are in contact with, consumers, are, most of them are doing this because they feel also that they have to do something in their life differently and try to. It's a first step into circularity, into a better way of consuming. So we offer this, and mostly 99% of the time it's very good, willing people that just want to move forward. So there's no abuse. I wouldn't say. Tess Mulder. Hello there.
Yeah, hi, I'm Tess. I study at the Amsterdam Fashion Institute, and I'm researching into what leadership styles are used by companies who do business with a corporate social responsibility in mind. Because research has shown that sustainable strategy needs a different business model. So I'm actually curious to know, do you think implementing the sustainable strategy in your company asks for a certain leadership style, and what kind of style that should be or would be?
Okay. We started the company like this, so it did change somewhere, but we don't want to be leaders in our team. We only want to be leaders in the way we are doing business. And what I would like to see, and the three other shareholders, is that we gather like-minded people around us that have good ideas and that teach me what is still going wrong. And I'm very happy with the team we have today that is very critical and very they have very advanced ideas. I mean, I'm nearly 60 years old, and if you talk to me about Instagram, it's something new. I always tell people that when I started doing business, after a few years of trading with China, a colleague of mine came to see me and he said, now, Bert, you know, you can put a paper next to the telephone with a design, and you can put it next to, and then it will go through the telephone, and on the other side of the world, they can see this paper. It's called a fax. And for me, the whole world was unbelievable. We had something like a striking advantage on all the other ones. So I'm trying to say that it's not my leadership or my other that is advanced. It's the whole team teaching me what to do, and maybe it's only because I'm very happy to be open to this, and it's just being transparent and being in for new things. Maybe that's called leadership. I don't know, but transparency is a big word. But you're in Amphi now, talking about
Yeah.
leaders. Amphi hasn't been very well in the in the news lately. Sorry,
No, that's right.
I'm actually
No,
I'm actually in the board of advisor in Amphi.
okay.
So I was actually thinking if what should I do, Tess? Do I have to react to what's happening there now, or should I?
For Amphi.
Yeah. Sorry to ask you.
I think
I'm over.
no, it's fine. I think it's definitely a problem, but more specifically in the design department.
Okay.
Where there's just a culture of we first break you down and then we build you up.
Yeah,
And I think
that they're saying that the fashion world is like that, and better get used to it. I don't agree with that, but that's what I heard.
yeah, I think it's really important also for students to hear that it's not always like that.
No.
Because
It's not a nice world, the fashion world. I can promise you that.
yeah. I thought it was like that until I did my internship and I found out there are nice people in fashion too. I mean, it's a hard business, but it's also like really it's creative people who want to inspire each other. And I think that's a culture that really
sometimes that hurts, yeah.
Yeah.
But you are happy at Amphi.
Yeah, but I'm also happy to be graduating.
And where did you do your internship?
At Alchemist.
Okay.
So it's a sustainable women's wear company in Amsterdam as well. And I did, I'm actually a design student who's graduating with a management thesis.
Okay. Okay, good. Let's go to the next one. That is Yasmin Abdullahi. Hello.
Hi, Yasmin here.
Hi.
I'm writing a
Where are you
paper
from?
on the Netherlands and Kenya. So both. The barriers and enablers of circular fashion in the Netherlands. You already listed a couple of barriers, so I was wondering, was there also any support received when starting your business?
No, not when starting. It was very difficult to start, and it was very difficult to get things rolling. You can imagine that you make a collection, you make jeans, you have to find customers, you have to sell your jeans. And after half a year, or after 1 year, you've sold 100 jeans and it's only costing money. So if you do this kind of thing, you have to really be financially strong to be able not to pay yourself a salary for the first 2-3 years and to get this thing rolling before somebody understands what you're doing and gets the feeling of what you're doing. Especially we tried something very difficult, recycling old jeans, get back old jeans, make all the cost of transporting them and all these things. We only got support after 6 or 7 years when we did the first 1 million euro turnover. That's when investors get interested because then they see there's proof of concept. This is really happening. There's a money flow. They are invoicing. There's a bank account. It's all starting to run. And then you can make the next step, but try to get growth capital to go to the next level. So that's what we did in 2019, and only then we had two real investors on board that wanted to make this company big, and they want us to succeed, and they support us not only with money but also with other help.
So you didn't receive any governmental subsidies or funds?
No.
Would there be anything that wasn't available to you that might help other fashion companies maybe transition circular?
We got help now. We got a grant 6 months ago with our idea, our plan to go to 100% post-consumer waste. So we're now making yarns out of chemically recycled cotton and also the mechanically recycled cotton. We mix them together and we made the first 30 cm material, and we want to make the first pair of jeans. And this now got, for the first time, funded partially, a little bit, by the Dutch government. And one of the shareholders now that really put capital in the company is the Noord-Holland Investering Fonds. So that only happens after you've proven that you make really the first steps in the first years, make it work. Does that answer your question? You look still.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, thank you. Ziggy Chen.
Yeah, hi.
你好.
Hi, 你好. Yeah, hi, I'm Chinese. Yeah, and I study business management at ESCP Europe in Berlin.
In Berlin, okay.
Yeah, and sorry?
Which university?
ESCP Europe Business School.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm doing research right now on sustainable human resource management. Yeah, which is about human resources management and sustainability. Yeah, it's a very new topic, and to the best of my knowledge, Mud Jeans is one of the frontier sustainable business. And as most of the topic today is about circular economy and environmental sustainability, I would like to know, how do you think human resources can contribute to sustainability? And what HR practices do you think contribute the most to Mud Jeans' sustainability agenda?
It's all about humans. I believe that even in big companies that are not sustainable, you will find a lot of people that in their hearts want to live a more sustainable life, but they are fixed into this daily thing that they have to do to earn their money, which may be not sustainable at all. But more and more people, I think, are getting more and more discontent about that. So either you break free and you start doing your thing and or work for another company, or you try to change that huge bigger company from inside. Both ideas are okay, I think. If you take IKEA, for instance, one of our partners we work with now, I've met a lot of people there that want this bigger company to change, and that's also important. So it's all about the people, I think. If you decide that you want to change something in your life, you can do it.
And how exactly do you do that internally with your employees to make sure that they're really?
Yeah, for us it's very simple, because we attract people that want to live this more sustainable life, and they want to push our company forward and put their energy and their knowledge and everything into this. So for us, it's not difficult. And if you take a bigger company that does, let's say, dirty business for a long time, and they have to change them, and it's not coming from the top, then it's difficult. Then you have to fight from the bottom, and that's hard. And you've seen examples there, like Unilever, where they try to change, or Danone, for instance, and then the financial market is punishing them. So it's very complicated for bigger companies, because financial markets are not always pushing in the right direction. And luckily now also that's changing a little bit. Pension funds and other investors are also seeing now that they have to start investing in more sustainable projects. But it's difficult.
Yeah, and we know that right now more business are paying attention, a lot of attention to employees' well-being, you know. And is there? And I would like to know, what do you do to make your employees, let's say, happy and healthy?
That's very difficult today, because we cannot all go to the office. We are also working from home. Sometimes we have, with smaller teams, meetings in our office with 2 or 3 people. That's all we can do. It's very hard to keep your team together. But like I'm saying, we are very lucky that we have so good and such intelligent people on board, highly educated, that want this to work. So it's going quite smoothly. And we try to do smart things. Last Friday, we had a music experience online, where I invited, it's quite interesting, a musician who lost his job because he could not do any theatrical things. And he said, okay, I'm going to do for companies this music experience, where you as a team, you have to prepare. So I have to say, everybody chooses one song for the other one. So I choose a song for Ziggy, and why I choose this for you, with the story. And he made a whole story out of it. It was quite nice, actually. So he also explained what music is, and that you can have dissonance. And then if you put another tone, it actually sounds all good together. So in a team, you can, Yeah, we try to do this kind of things, small things to make sure that we keep connected. And then there's, of course, the daily work where we have customers that are not happy, or a delivery too late, or somebody tore his mud jeans and he has to have a new one, or, you know, we are of course working together and trying to keep in touch.
Perfect.
It's
Thank
very
you.
simple. I mean, it's, you know,
Yeah.
it's nothing special.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Is there anybody who didn't get an answer from his or her question? You're all silent. That's good. But if you have, please go ahead. One or two last ones, and then we call it a day.
Yeah, if I can ask a question.
Yeah. Who's this?
Gert-Jan.
Gert-Jan, yeah. Hi.
Yes. So also studying the barriers and enablers for a circular economy for the fashion companies. And I'm wondering if there is, because I've talked with other companies as well, and they encounter some troubles to find circular suppliers. So I was wondering, maybe it can be helpful if the government or the European Union makes a platform where there is a lot of information, and you can share your information and other companies can. So I'm wondering, is there something like that, or would it be helpful?
And to my knowledge, that doesn't exist. I don't need it, but I can imagine people, yeah, it could be helpful. We are transparent, so if you have any questions about what we are doing, you can find it on our website. But that maybe not everybody finds our website, so yeah, it could be an idea. Why not? Maybe you have to write Mr. Timmermans with this idea, and then he can make it from the EU.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else?
Maybe I have one wrap-up question. Yeah.
Vicky, you again.
Yeah. So yeah, we know there are multiple dimensions towards sustainability. Yeah, environmental, social, and economic. And now we see a human dimension as the fourth one. Which dimension would you say is the most important for your company?
That's interesting that you say this, because if you look at the audit we do for B Corp, they've split it up in these different areas. And some areas we are better. We're scoring a lot of points, for instance, in our way of doing business, in environment, for instance. And then you have also government, the government about your company. There's also a lot of new forms for governmenting your company. The human dimension is not really part of it yet, but it's an interesting one. But maybe you will get some answers if you see our assessment of B Corp, and maybe also from other companies. If you go through this, you might get interesting things to see. For instance, a company like Ben and Jerry's. I saw him speak, one of the founders, I saw him speak once at a conference, and they were speaking about open hiring. So if you want to work for Ben and Jerry's, you can go there, and if they have a place, you can work. They don't ask you your CV or nothing. That's their way of hiring people, which is very interesting, I think. So go through all the B Corps and see their different dimensions. You can learn a lot there, I think. I would say.
Thank you.
Okay. Then
sorry,
I'll
would
give
you
you one last advice. Natasha.
Sorry, could I just ask one more question?
One last one, and then I have one for you.
You mentioned about governments, and I watched a TED talk of yours actually, where you mentioned, if anything, governments sort of having the winning role of this by being able to tax you double the amount for certain things you do. So if anything, do you consider the role of governments to be somewhat hindering?
Yeah, the Dutch government is hindering us with this double taxation. Because I'm saying always, if I get your old jeans back, you've paid for these and you paid already tax on them, VAT. And I'm using this to shred and to reuse it in a new material. And there's 40% of this old jeans in your new pair of jeans, then I would love to give you 40% discount on the VAT that you've already paid once. But that is a story the government doesn't want to hear, so that's difficult.
Thank
so
you.
now you could do me a big favor. Start wearing your mud jeans when you're presenting your thesis or defending your case.
I had a look the other day actually, but like you said, I'm in England,
Yeah.
and with Brexit going on, I don't think I can get them.
You can, if don't order two. If you order one, it will be okay. Because if it's more than £100, it will get stopped because you have to pay import duties. And if you use the discount code Walk the Talk, you'll stay under £100 and you will get it.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
So hopefully we have some very beautiful new styles, and you will help me a lot if you talk about our jeans, wear our jeans, be an ambassador, like everything we do on Instagram. That'd be great. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
There's a
Bye.
recording of this. If you need a recording, you can ask for it
Oh,
on info, and then we'll send it to you. Okay?
Thank you. Bye-bye.
thank you very much.
Bye.